Right next to me is a subcompact crossover SUV made by Honda for under $30,000. This is the brand new 2026 Honda HRV all-wheel drive LX, which is the base model of the HRV. Now, just because it's affordable and under $30,000, should you go out and buy one, and is it worth it altogether? Well, in this video, I'll be taking you through everything about this vehicle, and let's answer that question together. Is it worth it? Now, what are the price ranges of the new 26 HRV? Well, they start at $26,000 and go up to $32,000, and then a little more depending on options. The one I have right next to me is the base trim, but with an additional all-wheel drive. So you can get this without all-wheel drive or with it. And with it is an additional 1.5K. So the vehicle that I have right next to me comes out to be an MSRP of $27,700. But again, if you don't want all-wheel drive, it'll be in the $26,000 range. And then after dealer and destination fee, this vehicle comes out to be a total of $29,000. Thank you to Executive Honda in Wallingford, Connecticut for allowing me to use this vehicle for the day. Their information will be linked down in the description below. Let's dive right into it and start off with the front. And the Honda HRV has had a unique look, let's say. Now, it's more of those things, you like it or you kind of hate it. And to me, I like it, but it does look like an angry fish. It looks like that's the mouth, these are the eyes, and it's wide open and kind of has a little aggressive to it, but not overly aggressive. Now, you do have LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and yes, LED turn signals all up here. In a base model vehicle, that is impressive. They have the Honda logo right front and center. Everyone's gonna know this is a Honda vehicle. And the amount of airflow for that engine is crazy. You have so much airflow up here. I can stick my whole hand in up top there, over in the side. There's even more airflow down here as well. So all that will help the engine perform better. And the bottom part of this bumper is really unique in itself and reminds me of a wave. So it even doubles down on the angry fish with the wave, because you see here, this is plastic, but it swirls up like a wave, and this side swirls down as well. So from a distance, it gives it this pretty unique shape to it. Now, there is airflow for aerodynamics on the side here. So this side and that side will take air through this little pocket and come out right in the front of the wheel behind here to improve the aerodynamics. Under the hood, this vehicle is powered by a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine that is producing 158 horsepower and 138 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that is all going through a CVT transmission, and all that power is going to all four wheels because this is all-wheel drive. But again, if you want, you can get it for 1.5K cheaper in front-wheel drive. And this gets an average of 27 miles to the gallon. There's really nothing special going on with the side of the vehicle besides the overall design, because there's no roof rails and or sunroof on the top here. These mirrors do not have blind spot monitoring, as I don't think they do. Let's see. Yeah, they do not have blind spot monitoring, and they do not have turn signals on the side, which is pretty annoying because it has an indent for it. The higher trims do have that. So you get the little indent, but you don't get the actual blinker there. And these are 17-inch alloy rims with all-season weather tires. You got the black plastic cladding, so in case it gets dirty, easily wipe it away. And there is nothing on the door handles here, so there's no like lock or unlock, so you physically have to take the key out and unlock and lock it. The key fob of this vehicle is very simple, but it's tiny, and I like that factor. You can easily put it in your pocket. Honda badge in the back here, you have lock, unlock, typical type of stuff, panic button down there, and a trunk button. But this doesn't do it automatically because it's not an automatic trunk. So you have to hit this button, it unlocks it, then manually run over, and then lift up the trunk. It is with hydraulics, so once you lift it up like a tiny bit, it just does the rest, and same with it back down. Open up the rear door and you're greeted to plastic, but yet a really cool design. Something that's really unique with the HRV is just over the whole entire vehicle is super unique, and that's with the doors as well. They have this unique pattern on the bottom. There's a little spot for a cup holder right there, a round speaker, and look at the armrest right here. It's like a dumbbell. That's what it reminds me of. Like you could just grab it there and lift it. You got a grab handle there, a little spot that's like, it's not a lot of like leatherette material, but it's a little bit to rest your arm there. And then all this up here is plastic and a window control right there. Hopping in the rear seats, how are these? Well, it's all cloth. And again, with the uniqueness, it's all this pattern. And you sit in here, the legroom is pretty phenomenal. You would think for a subcompact crossover SUV, it would be terrible and not a lot of space. That's a lot of room. Now I'm 5'8", I'm not the tallest, and that's set to my driving position. So a 6 foot tall person might have a little bit less, but not that much. And then as well with headroom, I have 3-4 more inches. So a 6 foot tall person can just fit in here totally fine. You have little lights up top that are like magic to the touch. So just on off, pretty cool. And you have a spot here, which, okay, can I put my phone in there? Let's see. Yeah, so you can put your phone in there, but there is no USB-C or ports, whatever, in the rear here. The higher trims do have that. So, okay, so you're gonna have to drag a cable, but they have a cable spot right there, so you can drag it and charge your phone right there while resting it. No AC vents in the back. You're close enough to the front where it'll hit you. And how is the middle hump? Well, there's barely one. So a middle seat passenger doesn't have to man spread at all. Would be comfortable, but they don't have to, and you can fit 3 adults in here perfectly fine. And something I just realized, there's no cup holder armrest in this vehicle. So there's only a cup holder spot there, and then a cup holder spot over here. And I don't know if that's big enough to fit a large McDonald's drink. It might be, but if not, you're gonna have to straddle it. Open up the front door, and it's pretty much the same as the rear door, but just a little bit bigger and different materials. So up top, you have soft touch plastic, where in the rear, it's hard touch. Same hard touch here. Now, this is the biggest improvement, is this is way more squishy than the rear. So you have a lot like extra cushion to rest your arm, where the rear is not a lot. I don't know why they just didn't bring the same amount of cushion to the rear. Would be an extra few pennies, but that's the way it is. And the same design down here, but 2 spots to put cups, speaker grill, and you have window controls up here. Now the driver is 1 touch down, 1 touch up, but all the rest you have to hold down and hold up, and then your mirror controls and lock and unlock. Both front seats in this vehicle are extremely comfortable cloth bucket seats that hold you into place very well with your back and your booty here. Gets nice booty support, not gonna lie. They are manual controls though for the driver and the passenger. So this is for up and down, that's for the tilt, and this is for forward and back. Turn the vehicle on with a push to start, and you are greeted to a half digital, half analog gauge cluster. Now this side is a screen. I'm pretty sure you could see it through the video, but you got your digital miles per hour there and then digital RPMs gauge, as well as how many miles are on the vehicle, how much fuel you have left, and the gear you're in. But this stays the same. This is your miles per hour. You have an analog miles per hour gauge that just stays the way it is. Now this over here can be changed in this center to a ton of different things. So hit this little home button on the side of the wheel and scroll this wheel up and down, and you have all these different settings. So you have vehicle settings, gauge and cluster, warnings, range and fuel, speed and time, audio, which will show exactly what song you're playing. So I'm playing Weezer on my Android Auto, so that'll show right there. Then you can scroll down to phone, driver attention, and then my favorite setting, which is seatbelts, which will show who's buckled and who is not in the vehicle. So it senses the weight of each person sitting down, and if I go and buckle right now, it'll show a check mark. Okay, okay, there, perfect. It'll show a check mark there and say, hey, they're buckled. And if I don't, it'll show an X. So now imagine if there's kids in the back and you're driving at 60 miles on the highway. You don't have time to look back and forth. You can see if your kids are buckled. If they're not, go yell at them. The steering wheel of this vehicle is a 3-spoke steering wheel with a little bit of harder plastic. It's soft enough to be comfortable, but it's not some leather type material. Now you do have this forward and back to your music there. There's volume up and down for your music. That's the home button I showed you for that screen there, up and down, and that's your voice commands. And at the right of the steering wheel is some of your safety settings. So this has adaptive cruise control, lane warning assist, not lane keep assist. So it won't bounce you back in the lane, but it'll warn you saying, hey, you're going out, you should go back in. It has forward collision mitigation braking and has a backup camera with moving trajectory lines. Now, it's not the clearest, but it definitely gets the job done, as well as different views, which I like. And yes, like I talked about earlier, this does not come with blind spot monitoring over on the side. The higher trims do, but if a vehicle's coming to the side, you do gotta look out for it because it's not gonna alert you. Now, what if you wanna turn off some of the safety settings? You could do that. So you can go into the safety settings here on the screen and turn off road departure mitigation, which is the lane warning assist, and the forward collision mitigation braking. So if you don't want those, you can just check that off and it'll turn off. So in the 2026 HRV in the base model, you have a 9-inch color touchscreen, wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. That is an upgrade from the 7-inch touchscreen in the 25 model. Now you have, again, go to Android Auto, you have your maps right there, or same with Apple CarPlay, you pull it up, your music will be displayed right here. So mine's going through my phone with Android Auto, comes up right here. You can also do radio, AM, FM radio if you want. and then you can go to general settings and scroll through. So if you want to change some display settings, the brightness, the contrast, you can do that, connections with phone, and just see the rear camera. There's not a lot you can do with this, so if you have a phone with Android Auto Apple CarPlay, hook it up to it, because besides that, it's pretty bare. Now below there, you have physical AC controls. Yes, Honda, we love that. And they are the super clicky ones, which I love this a lot. So it has a little screen that will show the exact temperature you're on, or you can go all the way to low or all the way to high. That is the fan speed right there. You want it off? Just turn it off really quick. It is one zone climate, not dual zone, so only one person can adjust for the whole entire car. You have a wireless charging pad down here, which again comes standard in the base, which is pretty cool. 2 USB Type-C ports there, and one also here. So you have 3 here. So I would say this one you could use for the rear passengers because they could take a cable and bring it to the rear there. And this one would be for the front passengers. 2 cup holders there that fit a normal size cup. Put that right there. Then you have your gear lever and you have neutral, drive, sport, and a low mode. And down here is more drive modes. So you could hit this and you have normal, econ, or snow mode. Then you have your hill descent control right there, parking brake, and then your brake hold. This is where the HRV is unique because it has this unique kind of, again, like the same barbell design that the doors have, where it's over in the center console. And you have a little extra storage spot here. So this is not a wireless charging pad, but you could put a phone there if you want to, or put some secret little items, and not a lot of people are gonna know. And the armrest, you can open that up. You have some deep storage pocket. So put a few things in there and hide it, and no one will know as well. But I will say this armrest is kind of uncomfortable, especially for me. Maybe if you're smaller or bigger or different size, it'll work better. But just as the driving, it's too low in my opinion. Wish it was a little bit higher. The rear of the Honda HRV continues the uniqueness of this vehicle that I wish Honda would bring into other vehicles. It feels like this is just its separate own world and every other Honda vehicle is the same. I don't know if you're catching the same drift that I am, but I feel like every Civic's the same, the Accord is, and then this is just its own ballpark. Now the rear taillights in this vehicle is just super clear, vibrant, and pretty unique. So you have this red LED strip that'll light up as the taillight, and you also have rear LED turn signals up here, this little part. But inside the turn signal, or inside this little glass piece, there is little dots in there. It's just for design and show, but even as a distance, I'm pretty sure you guys can still see. I'll pan up front or up close, but as a distance, I still think it shows and it makes it stand out. This vehicle looks, again, just different than the rest of the crowd. You have the Honda badge right front and center, their all-wheel drive badge right up top there, windshield wiper, massive windscreen in the back. You have a third LED brake light up here on your roof spoiler, and then down here, HRV badge and a plastic bumper. This is a big boy plastic bumper. It's not like they're hiding this plastic at all. This thing is just massive. And you do not have any parking sensors in the rear. Most car reviewers will just say, hey, the trunk space is pretty big. It can do whatever. Well, I like to actually fit in the trunk to see how big it really is. Can it fit a 5.8 mat? Let's see. So hopping in the trunk here, yes, it could fit a full 5.8 mat pretty much laid out here. You have a 12-volt outlet port to charge your phone, a light on this side, and a light on that side. And a little extra storage over there. The same HRV design that's on the door pockets there, it comes into the rear, all across. Pretty cool. Now, if you want even more space, just hit this little button, pull that forward. Oh, I have some stuff in the back, so hopefully it doesn't ruin anything. But you can lay that completely flat, and yes, that is relatively flat. It's a slight hump up, but nothing crazy. So if you want, you can lay completely down in the back here or put a whole cabinet in here. And the big test is, does this have a spare tire or a fix-a-flat? We'll lift this part up and okay, cool. You have some secret storage here, so you can put a little items. Oh, whoa, that's cool how it stays there. I don't know if it's really meant to, but it's, okay, probably not meant to, but it worked for a little bit. And under there, yes, you got a full-size spare tire. Taking the 2026 Honda HRV out on the road, how does this vehicle feel? It feels amazing, which is blowing my mind for a sub $30,000 vehicle to feel this refined. To be totally honest, it is just refined. You drive, you barely hear any road noise, a little bit, but really not a lot. Potholes, you hit them. Again, you feel them, but they're not crazy bad. The handling is phenomenal in this vehicle. It just turns. I mean, that's the whole point of the HRV. It's their definition of what HRV stands for is high revolutionary vehicle, which is basically Honda's form of an SUV that rides like a sedan. So it's a high vehicle that rides like a smaller vehicle, and it definitely feels like that. It really is a smooth vehicle and fun to drive. With the CVT transmission, you don't feel the gear changes whatsoever in this. You just coast and glide. And again, you have a touchscreen with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, wirelessly full color here, wireless charging pad, adaptive cruise control, a little gauge, a touch, or not a touchscreen, but a screen for the gauge cluster here. And the only thing I would say is you don't have blind spot monitoring. That is the only bad thing I have to say about this vehicle. Everything about it is just fun. Now again, you don't get the heated seats, creature comforts, the cooled seats, the power seats, all these creature comforts that other vehicles get. But do you really need those? And that's what I think Honda did very well, is they put everything you need into one vehicle. It's nothing that you crazy want. Like, yes, we all want luxury features, massage seats, all that. But they put everything you need into a sub $30,000 vehicle. And again, you're able to put kids in the back. You're able to put other adults, to be honest. If you don't have kids, you can put this 5 adults in there, totally fine. And even storage in this rear to put luggage, other things you need. Overall, what are my thoughts of this vehicle? I like it. And I think Honda did a very good job with this vehicle. And I think going forward, more and more, the HRV will be more and more of a hit. But the real question is, what do you think about this vehicle? Do you like it or do you absolutely hate it? And do you think it's worth $29,000 or not? Be honest, let me know in the comments below. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to keep updated with more content. And a huge thank you to Executive Honda of Wallingford, Connecticut for allowing me to use this vehicle for the day. Their information will be linked down in the description below.